You might think lower mortgage rates would set off a buying frenzy. After all, rates have dipped to around 6.3%, the lowest in nearly a year. But reality tells a different story. Buyers are staying on the sidelines, and experts say the drop simply isn't dramatic enough to trigger mass action. Daryl Fairweather, chief economist at Redfin, explains it plainly. Rates have come down, but they're still hovering near the levels we've seen since late 2023. That means the difference isn't enough to make homes truly affordable for most families. What looked like a golden opportunity at first glance turns out to be a modest discount, not the kind of shakeup that gets buyers rushing to sign contracts. Even though rates are near year-to-date lows, buyers are realizing that stability isn't the same as relief. The market is tricky. A slightly lower interest rate only helps if home prices are reasonable, and right now, they're not. And this is just the beginning. While rates are low, the challenges for buyers run deeper. Ones that might not be obvious until you start crunching the numbers. Next, we'll look at why rising home prices are keeping buyers from jumping in, even with rates falling. Even with mortgage rates inching down, many buyers are hitting a wall. Home prices just won't cooperate. Across the country, prices continue to climb, leaving would-be homeowners frustrated and financially stretched. Zillow's analysis puts it into perspective. For a median-income family to comfortably afford a typical home today, rates would need to drop to about 4.4%, far below even the most optimistic projections. The reality is that small rate reductions aren't enough to counteract the steady rise in home costs. Inventory is starting to increase as some sellers test the market, but even with more options, affordability remains out of reach for most buyers. The dream of a new home at a reasonable price is slipping further away, keeping many on the sidelines. Experts call this a stalemate between buyers and sellers. Rates aren't high enough to scare people away, yet prices aren't low enough to entice them. The result? A cautious, hesitant market where even motivated buyers pause and wait for the right moment. And that hesitation is shaping a broader trend. Buyers aren't moving just because rates dip. Many are waiting for a bigger incentive, a truly affordable entry point. Next, we'll explore why so many buyers are choosing to play it safe and wait rather than jump into the market right now. Even with lower rates and more homes on the market, many buyers are holding back. They're adopting a wait-and-see approach, hoping that the spring market or future rate cuts might finally make home ownership more affordable. In cities like San Antonio, Texas, this cautious mindset is clear. While the best-priced homes still sell quickly, most properties linger on the market. Buyers who aren't facing urgent life changes, like a promotion, divorce, or the need to move for a better school district, are simply pausing, unwilling to commit under current conditions. This isn't just hesitation, it's strategy. Buyers know that with rates and prices at a delicate balance, patience can pay off. Meanwhile, sellers aren't panicking either. Many have low existing mortgage rates, giving them flexibility to wait for higher offers or pull listings if their price expectations aren't met. The result is a slow, almost frozen market. Transactions happen, but only when life circumstances force a purchase. Everyone else is watching, waiting, and calculating the best possible moment to strike. Next, we'll see how sellers are testing the market amid all this buyer caution and what that means for the balance of power. While buyers sit on the sidelines, sellers are feeling out the market, testing just how much they can get for their homes. Inventory is slowly climbing, and more properties are listed, but contract cancellations and pulled listings remain high, around 15% in August alone, the highest for that month since 2017. Sellers are cautious too. Many are holding out for higher offers, unwilling to drop prices too quickly, knowing buyers are selective and slow-moving. In competitive areas, price cuts are becoming more common, but most sellers haven't yet embraced aggressive adjustments. They're experimenting, gauging buyer reactions while keeping their options open. In regions like Northeast Ohio and the suburbs west of Boston, agents report a subtle shift. Buyers are gaining a bit more leverage, but sellers still control the narrative. Days on market are rising, inventory is expanding, and while some homes are discounted, the market is far from balanced. This delicate tug-of-war means that even with more homes available, sales aren't surging. Sellers are testing patience, and buyers are testing resolve, a slow-motion standoff that could shape the market for months to come. Next, we'll examine how regional differences affect this struggle between buyers and sellers and what trends are emerging across the country. The housing market isn't uniform. What's happening in one region can be very different from another. In the Northeast and Midwest, for example, buyers are starting to gain slightly more power as inventory rises. Suburbs west of Boston and parts of Ohio are seeing homes stay on the market longer, giving buyers a chance to negotiate, while sellers slowly adjust their expectations. Still, the imbalance remains. Prices are climbing in many areas, and sellers aren't eager to lower them dramatically. Even with more listings, buyers remain cautious, waiting for rates to drop further or for prices to plateau. Real estate agents report that sales are slowing, but interest hasn't disappeared entirely. Instead, the market is stabilizing, trying to find a new balance between cautious buyers and steadfast sellers. This uneven pace across regions creates opportunities for some buyers, but frustration for others. Timing and location are becoming crucial. In some cities, patience could pay off, while in others, buyers must act quickly or risk missing out. Next, we'll explore what the outlook looks like heading into the next season and what buyers and sellers should expect in the months ahead. Looking forward, the housing market shows signs of cautious optimism, but patience will be key. Experts suggest that pent-up supply and demand could create opportunities in the coming months, especially if prices plateau and inventory continues to improve. Buyers who wait for the right timing might finally find homes within reach, while sellers may need to adjust expectations to close deals. Many real estate professionals are already preparing for next spring, when traditionally more buyers enter the market. Those who are ready to act could benefit from slightly more favorable conditions, whether it's negotiating price cuts or taking advantage of stable mortgage rates. However, the fundamental lesson remains. The market is still delicate. Buyers and sellers must carefully weigh timing, rates, and local conditions. Acting too early or waiting too long could mean missing the optimal window. So, as we head into the next season, the question remains. Will you be ready to move when the balance finally tips, or will you continue watching from the sidelines, waiting for the perfect moment that may never come? The 2025 housing market is a story of contrasts. Mortgage rates have dropped to near-year lows, yet rising home prices and cautious buyers keep the market from moving. Sellers test the waters but hold firm on pricing, while buyers weigh their options carefully, waiting for the right moment. This delicate balance shows that the housing market isn't driven by interest rates alone. Affordability, timing, and regional differences all play crucial roles. For buyers, patience and strategy are essential. For sellers, understanding market dynamics and flexibility can make the difference between a quick sale and a prolonged listing. Ultimately, the lesson is clear. In today's market, moving too quickly or waiting too long can both carry risks. Success comes from knowing the numbers, watching trends, and planning carefully. So, before you make any move, ask yourself, are you ready to buy when the opportunity arises, or is waiting for a better moment the smarter choice? Because in 2025, timing isn't just important, it might be everything.